The UFC stages a Texas-sized matchup in the bantamweight division this Saturday when number 5 ranked Cory Sandhagen returns to the octagon in San Antonio to face number 3 Marlon Chito Vera. What's up, fight fans? Ron Kruck with Superbook Sports, joined by the Colorado product and man headlining UFC Fight Night on Saturday, March 25th, Cory Sandhagen. Cory, thanks so much for taking some time during fight week, my man. I know you're about ready to take off to the airport right now.
Yep. After this interview, I'm going to eat some breakfast and then I'm taking off to the airport. Yep, that's right.
Well, I know it's crunch time, so we at Superbook really appreciate you taking the time. Now, the UFC moved this really highly anticipated bantamweight matchup from February 18th to this weekend. Did the extra time mean anything to you and your preparation?
Not too much. I was really grateful that they actually put it in front of some fans, which I didn't really realize how excited it would make me until it actually happened. So I'm like mega excited. This is my first main event in the States with like an actual legit crowd. So I'm super excited about it, man. I hope that a lot of people show up, and I hope a lot of people are watching because I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. I'm super excited.
100%. There's nothing like fighting in front of those fans in San Antonio. They will bring it. They will come, and I know they will support the UFC while they're down there. And making this maybe even more exciting for you is the fact that, Cory, you were away from MMA for 11 months before returning in last September when you scored that impressive TKO win via doctor's stoppage over Song Yong Dong. You know, what did that time away do for you personally and professionally?
Yeah, I think fighting's not easy, man. Like it never really stops, you know, like it's not just you hit the gym for the few hours that you hit the gym and then it stops. Like you always have to be dieting. You always have to be kind of like, I do a lot of other like mental preparation things, which are just a lot too, you know, like when I think about how many hours a day I probably spend on the actual craft of MMA and like physically, mentally, everything. Well, I guess it's like 24 hours because I'm always on diet, but
of course,
for like the actual mental and physical side of things, it's about like 6 hours a day, which, you know, doesn't sound like, you know, it's not like your typical 8-hour work day, but it never really gets to turn off too much. So personally, I kind of needed to turn it off just a little bit. And just meld into the life that I was living and am living, just to settle into it without martial arts being a part of it for a little bit. And I also just big time wanted to improve on some skills. That was the main reason. The personal stuff is great too, but I really wanted to just develop some skills, which is kind of difficult to do when you're having to, you know, go through a fight camp. It's not the easiest thing to do. There's other pressures and other things that are just more important. So yeah, I just wanted to develop my skills. I think I did it too, because I think that the reason that I beat Song when I came back, who I think that fight is going to age really well, even though he's not the most, you know, known guy in the world. I think that fight is going to age really well. And the two things that I have been working on for a really long time in that off time was shooting a lot so that people that, and then my elbows for when guys are a little bit shorter and they want to stay in the pocket with me. And that's like what won me the fight. So I'm really glad that I was able to do that. And
Yeah, spot on in that breakdown. I mean, your striking, as usual, was on point in that matchup, but it was those elbows that ultimately cut open Yongdong and ended that fight. You know, as you look ahead at Vera, Cory, as you try to make it 2 straight victories this weekend, do you think your striking is your biggest advantage against him? And what do you need to do to get a victory?
Yeah, I think stylistically, my striking is, I would say, you know, maybe not the best, but it's definitely way up there. You know,
Sure.
I'm very defensively sound, which makes me different than other people. Like that's like always priority one is making myself elusive and hard to hit, which gotten me like a really long way, you know, and I think that that's what makes it so fun to watch too, is because I'm always thinking offense while keeping myself defensively safe, which I think poses a really big problem for people when they're in there and they realize how hard I am to actually find.
Sure.
So I do think that I am the better kickboxer than Chito. But I do know that Chito is a super durable guy who has a lot of heart, and he's a dog.
Yeah.
He might not be the most active guy when he's fighting, but he definitely makes reads really well and capitalizes on the reads. So, especially when the guys are a little bit tired, you know, their brains aren't working as good, their bodies aren't moving as quick. He really knows how to capitalize on those moments. So, Cheeto's definitely a super dangerous guy. But I mean, like skill for skill, I do think that I have the edge in the kickboxing and in the grappling realm too. So I think I'll be able to dictate where the fight takes place also. But yeah, super tough guy, really durable, a lot of heart, and he's a dog. You know, you could throw anyone in the cage with those qualities, and they're going to be tough to beat. Let alone Chito, who is a very, very accomplished and good kickboxer as well.
Great breakdown, no doubt about it. He comes in riding a 4-fight win streak, getting a lot of shine, and giving you a huge opportunity to really get into that title mix with a victory and at least move up in the rankings. We're going to get to that here in a moment. Right now, just want to remind our viewers and listeners, Superbook is offering a huge UFC promo for this weekend. Sign up for the Superbook Sports app today using the promo code Cory, CORY, and you will get a $250 every first bet wins bonus. Visit superbook.com for the terms and conditions. Current odds, according to Superbook, Cory, have you sitting at the minus 165 favorite, and the comeback on Vera is plus 145. Do you prefer to come in about as the favorite?
I don't really mind either way. Actually, I think I haven't been the dog too many times in the sport.
True.
I do think that usually I'm the favorite. I think right now, just because the rankings to me don't make much sense. Like I just beat Song Yadong. He was the guy that last beat Chito
Right.
or earlier. So and then now Chito's number 3. So, you know, I am grateful that people, at least like fans, are understanding that I'm the better fighter, or at least like I'm getting some recognition for being the better fighter by being the favorite. So I do appreciate that, because I don't know what's going on in that other world of things with the ranking. And I know that Chito does have a lot of hype and all of that stuff, but you know, yeah, I like when people recognize my skills, and being the favorite shows that. So I guess I do prefer the favorite, but being a dog isn't bad either. You know, being the dog brings out another side too. So I like them both.
Awesome, man. Quickly, you know, the UFC bantamweight division is probably the most stacked in the promotion at this point, and so much going on with Piotr Jan falling to number 4 after Dvalishvili got a victory over him. He moves up to number 1. And then you have the champion, Aljamain Sterling, facing the former double champion in Henry Cejudo, who's coming back, fighting for the title May 6th at UFC 288. How do you see this division playing out here in the next couple months?
Good question. I mean, I think Cejudo and Sterling are pretty much set to fight. I keep hearing rumors that O'Malley, and I think even Dana said it, that O'Malley will be the next one to fight for the belt after that. So,
right.
You know, I think after this one, it's kind of no other fight would make any sense other than Merab, assuming Merab's cool with taking the fight. So, in which I don't really know why he wouldn't, because he's going to have a really long sit on the bench if he doesn't. But, yeah, I mean, the division's great, dude. Like even the people that are outside of the top 5 could very easily crack into the top 5. So MMA is crazy, man. Even if you look at the top 5 2 years ago, 1 year ago, it looks completely different than what it does now.
Great point.
Which makes MMA really awesome. And so in a couple months, it may look pretty similar, but in a year, I don't think it's going to look anything like what it looks like now, which is just a cool part of the sport.
Absolutely. There's going to be a lot of changes coming up here in the next year. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and you're right in the mix. Um, Cory, as we're wrapping up, I had the honor to call several of your fights in the LFA. That was you went 2-1 in the promotion before the UFC came calling. How did your time in the LFA help prepare you for the next level?
Yeah, LFA was awesome to me. They always handled themselves really professionally. And LFA has some of the toughest fights, man. Like the LFA is just full of a lot of really, really good competitors. A lot of guys from the LFA go to the UFC because they're not making mismatches in that organization. They're making the toughest fights, and I was grateful to be a part of that. Also, just like how cool the shows are. They're not like local shows. The shows are really nice. They feel like the UFC. I remember I fought in the Broomfield Event Center, I think once or twice.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like that was bigger than some of the stages in the UFC sometimes. So, yeah, LFA was great to me. I'm super glad that I just got to be a part of the LFA journey because those are really tough fighters.
We appreciate your time today. We're super excited to see you return to the Octagon this Saturday to take on Vera. And fight fans, this is the time to get to Superbook. Sign up at the Superbook Sports app today using the promo code Cory, CORY. You'll get a $250 every first bet wins bonus. You can't miss out on this opportunity. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Final question for you, Cory. How do you see this fight playing out, and why should UFC fans make a wager on you?
Well, I think the best part about fighting is no one knows how the fights are going to play out. Even the fight included. So that's what gets me up, man. I'm excited to rise up for the challenge. I think Chito's a dog. I think he's going to act like a dog when he's in there. And I don't really get to show my dog side very much. So maybe I'll get to do that in this fight also. So I love those moments, man. I love those moments where the body wants to quit, the mind wants to quit, and then I get to like overcome those. And I anticipate overcoming some of those feelings in this fight, and I'm excited for it because it makes me grow as a person and a martial artist, and it's going to be a beautiful fight, man.
Can't wait, my man. Again, thank you so much for the time. And if we knew how the fights were going to play out, we'd both be retired by this point. So that's why they fight. And can't wait to see you back in the Octagon, Cory. Thank you so much for the time today.
Yep. Thanks, Ron. Thanks for having me on, man.
You bet, buddy.